Howdy folks, I'm Brian,
I remember.
and here's some Reddit. Happy Friday, Junior's Eve, everyone. Our first letter is titled, Am I the jerk for not wanting to be a stay-at-home mom and find a job instead? My husband's father passed away recently. He grew up on a large farm in Kansas. Him and his mother inherited the farm. My husband John, a 24-year-old male, and I, a 21-year-old female, met while he was living in New Orleans, attending Tulane on an athletic scholarship, and I was working as a waitress. We fell in love and he proposed quickly. We married a few months ago, and I'm currently 3 months pregnant. We've been living in New Orleans, but since his father's passing, his mother needs help with the farm, and he suggested that we move there, and it'll be better for the child to be raised on the farm anyways. I didn't really want to do that, but I agreed as I knew how much it meant to him. Well, when we got there, I was surprised at how big and isolated the farm was. My husband and I share one car, and his mother has another. I asked to take the car the other day to go to town to look for jobs, and he sat me down and told me that it wouldn't be very practical for me to have a job at the moment because we only have two cars for three people, and they can't spare one for me to take 8 hours a day, and they can't drive me to and from work when there's so much to be done on the farm. I wasn't very happy about it, but it made sense. So I started looking for some jobs online when we were eating dinner. And I started the subject again, saying that I think I will look for some work from home jobs, but I will need a stable internet connection, and asked if there's any way we can change providers because it was a bit slow. He told me that all work from home jobs are a scam, and he doesn't want me falling into a trap, and that he needs the laptop available at all times to communicate with his customers. I was devastated, but I didn't want to argue, and I understand that his work is currently supporting all of us, including his mother. We had a small family gathering, and his sister-in-law asked me why I didn't want to be a stay-at-home mom. I explained them everything, and they told me that I should think of my family first, that all the kids in this family are raised by stay-at-home moms, and I should just go with it, and everyone will be happier. This sounds like a cult.
Mm-hmm.
I said that I would get bored and that I need a job to help support us, but they kept telling me that I should just listen to my husband. When everyone left, John came to our bedroom and we had our first massive argument. He told me that I embarrassed him in front of his family. He told me that he can't believe how heartless I am, being that I clearly don't care enough for our baby to stay home and raise him. He called me a jerk and told me it's best if I slept in the guest room for a few nights. He hasn't spoken to me since, and his mother told me that I hurt him and all of them by refusing to carry on the family tradition of being a stay-at-home mom, and that I'm bringing shame to him, showing him that he can't support his family. And I'm torn. I thought I knew what I wanted, but everyone is telling me otherwise, and my head is a mess. Am I really the jerk for wanting to find a job? Is it really that wrong of me? I thought I was right, but now I'm doubting myself. Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk, or run?
Yeah, not the jerk and run like yesterday.
Oh no, OP. OP, this is such a terrible situation.
Mm-hmm.
They isolated you from basically your friends and families. You moved to a place that was very remote. And every single time that you wanted to find a job, they countered it with, oh, you don't really want to find a job. Oh, why don't you want to be a stay at home mom? You don't want to be a stay at home mom because you don't want to be a stay at home mom. You don't need a reason beyond that. And that's really what this boils down to. You are going to be, if you do not want to be a stay-at-home mom, then you need to leave this relationship because they're going to continue to pressure you into being a stay-at-home mom until you cave and you decide that that's what you really want to do, right? Even though it won't be what you want to do, it's just that what they're telling you. So no, OP, you're not a jerk, and these are big gigantic red flags. Is your husband farming red flags? Because that's what kind of farm this sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, take care and good luck. This is screaming isolation tactics, not the jerk. And the argument and punishment for having her own opinion on what being a stay-at-home mom would feel like specifically for her. Oh my goodness, I'd be telling him to forget the guest room and I'll be staying with a friend. Not the jerk. Get out of that house now. You do not want to be trapped on an isolated farm in Kansas with no money of your own, no car, and a baby. The longer you wait, the harder it will be to get away from. Yeah, that's just it too. And all the excuses that he's making are just ridiculous excuses. Like, oh, you can't use a computer. It's like you can't buy a second computer, right? Like you can't buy a third car. And why, if there's so much work to be done on the farm all day long, do they need 3 cars anyways, right? It seems like 2 cars should be enough, that they would be able to use 1 car to get around to town if they needed to, but it doesn't seem like they need the 3 cars. And the laptop, really, again, get a laptop. I just do not understand why this is such a, desperate, blocked out every term type thing. And online jobs aren't a scam. You can find lots of legitimate jobs that you can work from home. Way easier to leave pregnant than with a baby. OP, they are trying to coerce you into their lifestyle. Did your husband even discuss with you before moving what his plan for you and your life was? It sounds like you'll just be the incubator and caregiver in his eyes, as it doesn't seem like he has any respect for you as a partner or even as a person. Being a stay-at-home mom is so hard. You are on 24/7, especially if you don't have a good support system. No car, limited access to a computer, ridiculous. Also, a large majority of work-from-home jobs send you the equipment that you need, laptops, monitors, printers, etc. However, I wouldn't be surprised that if you were to do that anyways while living in that house, that they would sabotage it, and however that they could. Really consider leaving, doing it sooner rather than later. You can get the marriage annulled. Just file right away. Don't get stuck in this isolation and being told how wrong you are for wanting to just live life.
Yeah, it sounds like he and his family had one idea and they just like brought OP in and were like, bam, here's your new life.
Yeah.
Just accept it.
Welcome to kidnapping on Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Wanting to Be in My Friend's Wedding? I'm a 28-year-old female, and my friend Sarah and I went to high school and we were best friends. She went away to college and I stayed in our hometown and started working. We'd see each other about 2 to 3 times a year until I had my first son at 23, and then once a year after that, since it was harder for me to travel to her and visit. We have a casual relationship now and basically just reply to each other's stories on Instagram. She now lives nearby and is getting married next year. Sarah sent me something in the mail asking me to be her bridesmaid. I guess I didn't open it fast enough. I didn't see it until like 2 days after it was delivered, and she called me that day a little annoyed, asking what I thought of her letter. I told her that I appreciated her thinking of me, but I just don't think it would be fair to agree to do it when I don't think I can give the role the time it deserves. She asked me what I meant. I explained to her that I have 3 kids and I wasn't up for helping her plan for a wedding. I'd have to attend dress shopping, potential fittings, engagement parties, bridal showers, bachelorette party, which was out of town trip, rehearsal dinner, and then spend all day and night of the wedding. And I don't even want to do that for my own wedding. I told her that I would be happy to attend as a guest if she would let me. She then sent me several more messages claiming that I'm ruining her wedding. Apparently, her and her partner want members of their party to be someone from their childhood, high school years, college years, and adult years. Like one from each of their life. She claims that she had no other friends in high school and that I was her best friend, and best friends wouldn't let each other down like this. This is where I might be the jerk. I told her, to paraphrase, we were best friends in high school, but we barely talk now. I have my own life and I cannot dedicate that much time to your event. I don't want to walk down the aisle with a stranger I don't know wearing a gown that I doubt I'll like. And I don't want to be in her dumb bridal TikToks, and I don't want to do stupid group dances with the rest of the bridal party. I'm sorry, but I just cannot do it. You need to respect my no. And I told her goodbye and I hung up. Now her siblings I haven't even talked to in a while, her mother and her partner, who I haven't even met, are blowing me up, calling me a jerk for telling her that her wedding ideas are dumb and stupid. I did apologize to her for that, but I still do hold that if she had respected my polite no in the first place, I would never had to unload my thoughts in the first place. My partner is the only person who is equally as confused by this as me and thinks that I'm not the jerk. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
Yeah?
I mean, she could have phrased it a little better, but she apologized for that.
So, I think kind of everyone's a little bit of a jerk here. I was kind of expecting Ever to also be like, oh, a little bit of a jerk. But, everyone has different opinions here and there, right? The reason why I think that she was kind of in the wrong is because of how she phrased it. She could have been a lot more diplomatic with how she approached telling the bride this. She could have just said that I just am not interested in doing the different activities at the party at your wedding, and I just won't have the energy, and left it at that. And if she had escalated, OP could have blocked her, and I think that that would have gotten the message across. But I certainly understand where Amber's coming from here and saying, like, she apologized for the things she said, but she still called her ideas dumb. And I think that that was really kind of overboard there.
Well, I might feel like that if that was what she started with. But this was only after pressure from the friend. Someone keeps like being, really, come on, you need to do this for me. Sometimes people say things they regret later.
Yeah, I mean, certainly people do say things that they regret later. And I think that, of course, OP's friend is a jerk because they shouldn't be pressuring OP into doing this. And I think that, yeah, again, it felt like a little bit of a low blow when I read that. And I think that, again, OP's friend shouldn't have pressured them, and there should have been like better mutual communication here. I understand the friend's frustration. They have this idea that they want to execute for their wedding, and the one person who basically is going to help make this happen isn't going to enjoy the wedding. And I mean, I think that that's just life sometimes. Life is full of disappointments, and you just have to accept that there are just going to be some things that you can't pull off, and that's that. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk. Most brides seem to think that their wedding is the event of the decade and that people who don't cater to their every whim are jerks. What you said was a bit harsh, but I do agree that she pushed you to snap. You don't owe her anything. And OP says, thank you, I did apologize, but she did not accept it. Not the jerk. No is a valid answer, and they should respect that, but instead they kept pushing. Then, when you finally told them off in what sounds like a much nicer way than I would have, they had their family and people you haven't met attacking you over it. This friendship has run its course. And OP says, yes, I agree that it has run its course. I am not a confrontational person and was legitimately shaking when I said all of that. I regretted it instantly afterwards, but it upset me greatly when I tell someone no and they don't back down. Alright folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I have some tea right here. Amber has some mint tea. And we've got some jokes. What relation is a doormat to a doorstep? A step farther. Ah, no! I hate it. No! Terrible. Terrible. And what do I have today, Amber?
Mint tea.
I have licorice spice.
Oh, you tricked me.
I tricked everyone.
I am sad now.
Amber's a little sad. She's pouting. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. And if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.